I think it's proper for me to start out by congratulating Rocky Long and our football team for a 5th straight bowl game. And I think most important is the leadership that Rocky has provided this program. And he's done it in a fashion that a fellow coach and a colleague in the athletic department can applaud. He runs a program, but he knows the university has a number of athletic programs, and he's involved, participates, supportive of all of them, and it's reflected in how his players carry themselves in this building. So he's done a great job, and I want to tip our hats to them as they head to the 5th straight bowl game, and hopefully a win. So congrats. We are coming off beat down at Washington, and you learn from it, but you have to move on. You can't have it linger and fester and create more issues for you in your next game. We're playing a very good Long Beach State team, led by the best point guard that we've played so far. We played some pretty good ones in Cappy. He's the ringleader, but they're good. This is a good basketball team. They're battle tested, obviously, if you look at who they played. They probably should have beaten Washington in the Wooden Legacy. And they played, won't go into all the teams they played. You can look it up, but they played the who's who of teams. We've played them the last 2 times we've played them. We played them at their building first, and it took James Rahan going back-to-back-to-back threes for us to win that game. We played them here the following year with one of our better teams, and we went into overtime to win the game. So obviously they will come in unafraid and excited to play us. We will be the same. So this should be a good basketball game. They're athletic, they can score a lot of points, and this is a team that everybody knows who prepares to play them. This is a good basketball team. Any questions for me?
Coach, you said after the Utah game that you thought this year's team was better offensively than the year before. Do you still believe that?
Do you have that on your recorder? I do remember saying that. And I didn't think you guys were smart enough to remember that. I thought the same thing. No, we're not as good right now. Can we be? I think so. But until we prove it more than one time, those questions obviously will still linger. We had a guy that we appreciated, but he made everybody else's job easier in things, in Xavier. He got people shots the way they needed to get shots. He got Poli catch shoot opportunities, and he was also a guy when we had to have a basket, he got a basket or a foul. So no, we're obviously a work in progress, and we need to go to work with what we're doing offensively. Part of it, we need to make the extra pass, and it's not we're trying too hard at times to say I'm gonna make a play, and we lower our heads and we drive, and we've got a guy here open, and we drive and we push it and force it. I just came from upstairs where we watched tape on ourselves and watched us when we moved the ball and how nice we looked and how efficient we can be. And then like we saw Sunday and like we have seen at parts of other times. So we got to get better. We have to get better with our offense. I mean, that doesn't take me to tell you that. I know that.
How do you explain the phenomenon of, so X Games is one reason you maybe dished off for a lot of easy offense for the guys, but how do you explain the phenomenon of every one of these kids, I'm sure, was averaging 15, 20 points a game in high school, and I know the competition level is now different, but the rim is still 10 feet up and the dimensions of the court are the same. It's hard to understand how these athletes who are used to sinking a lot of shots just start getting shots to go in during the game. How How do you explain 20%?
Well, you know, sometimes guys got shots in a lot of different ways before they got here. I'm not worried about what they did before they got here. I'm worried about what they do now that we've got them here. And I've used this term often, play to your strengths. What are you really good at? And play to your strengths. And at times we've tried to do things that are probably not our strengths. You know, who can do what? Play to your strengths. And we're trying to help them figure that out. And we've pointed that out. And, you know, I've always given players freedom to make decisions. And sometimes you have to tighten it up a little bit, but you can't make them afraid. Will he get mad at me if I do this and it doesn't go in? I mean, we've all seen Dwayne take some shots. You say, what's he doing? And they go in, and everybody says, boy, what a great shot. So it's that fine line that you walk, but you can't be 4 for 26 or 7. I don't care who you're playing. That means a good number of those are not the kind of shot that you need to get and take. And we've got a cut version that we'll show them again. When we came back from Maui, we showed them cuts of here's how we move the ball in these first 2 games, and here's how at times it didn't look like we're moving it quite so well in the last game. And so we've done it before, and it's called grinding away. And I don't remember everything about last year, but I know there were times that we struggled to score last year. And you've got to find ways to win while you're working through some of these things. And obviously we need to do better than a Division I low 36 points. I'm smart enough to know that.
Do you need that guy, an X or like a Jamal the year before that you can lean on? It's obviously not that simple, but generally speaking, does that guy have to emerge for you guys to be the offensive team you want to be?
I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know. I said before the season, we're not going to lead the league in scoring. But I thought we would have 5 or 6 guys averaging anywhere from 12 and a half, 13 to 9. And that still might happen. You know, it's a good question. You have to also find a way to get some easy baskets. And that's on turnovers and get run-outs for 3-on-1s for baskets. That's on offensive rebound putbacks. That is on getting to the free throw line. And every game we've played, with the exception of Arizona, we've made more than they've taken. And maybe we even did that against Washington. So we got to get to the free throw line. Then we have to get the free throw line and make them. So we still got those moving parts that we and they are trying to say what can help us be better, and we're just going to have to stay with it.
What does not having AQ do to the bench, not having that 5th-year senior, and is there anything you can do to adjust those rotations? Because without him, obviously you're just sending in a bunch of freshmen and guys who aren't that experienced right now.
You have to be a guy that says, okay, I'm going to get that open shot and I'm going to make it. Matt's played in the 2nd game for us this year, I think, in Washington. I said after the game, and I said this to you, Mark, until the game was out of reach, it looked like even the good shots we had were hurried and rushed, and they weren't good shots. At the end, Kevin Szabo had back-to-back dribble, proper time to where a guy couldn't block it, pulled up and made them. Then he drove in and found Matt in the corner for a 3, and he had several of those before that he looked like he rushed, and this one last play of the game, he just took his time and made it. So it's easy to say, boy, we're in there, you can't score. And the sticky wicket is to not make them say what I said before. Is this a good shot? Will he yell at me if I miss this shot? I've defined, and I need to continue to define individually. I need to meet with with you and tell you, here's what I want you to do. Here is how you can help this team. And we've done that, and we need to continue to do it. And hopefully it'll happen. We're not the only team in America that at times doesn't look good. And the old adage, you're never quite as good as you think and you say when you're really good, and you're never quite as bad as you think and hear when you play bad. And so, and we're kind of that way right now. I'm glad we're playing at home. Our crowd has been stupendous. We need them to be great again for us. They've been great to help create energy, and hopefully that'll happen again. Anything else for me?
Yeah, one more. Just when you were as optimistic as you were about the offense earlier on, what did you see? What made you feel like it was it just additional post players, maturity from guys who came back?
I thought we did a great job of making the extra pass, moving the ball, getting the ball to the next guy who would be open, and at times we still do that. And, you know, we've missed some open shots, and at times we've said, well, we missed 2 or 3, so I got it. You know, if I throw it to him, it's nothing productive is going to happen. So I got to try to make a play. I think at times we've gotten too much like that. And maybe in my youthfulness, I was overly exuberant when I talked about that early on. I don't think so, but you know, we ain't shooting it too well. I know that. I know that. And until we start that same question and topic, we'll be out there. I can't play to the press, and our players can't worry. And when we say, boy, 36 points and having this and that, you've got to say, I've done this. And John, your point, the Rims are the same way. When I get a good look, I'm going to take it and I'm going to make it. And sometimes, you know, those bigger guys make those good looks not so good too. So that's an adjustment that it takes. I talked about Trey. Watched Trey since he was a freshman. He can score the ball. He can score the ball like crazy. Sunday was the first ever for him. I'm sure even if he played pee-wee soccer, he scored in a game. I'm sure he did. First time he's ever gone 0 for something. So we'll hopefully be a little bit better tomorrow. The bottom line, if we struggle, we need to make them struggle more and find a way to win the game.